Welcome to Adventures in Game Development, Chapter 24.
Hey, Iggy 24.
What the hell do you have to say for yourself?
Alright, I am beyond myself with fucking excitement. We finished something that has been, fundamentally something we had envisioned for ES to have for a very long time. So what I've done is I've implemented a full rigid body physics engine in ES with full contact resolution, rotational rotational resolution, all that cool shit. It's you can see velocity resolution, all that shit. Yeah. So we had always envisioned full rigid body motion, full physics for everything, because we wanted it to play a huge role in the combat. You fucking pick up rocks and throw them at people.
Oh, yeah.
And
the immersion.
Yeah, you pick up a potion, or you're out of ammo or something, you pick up a potion and just fucking throw it at the boss because you have nothing else to lose.
Yeah. Literally pick up a rock and fight
that's
to
what we
the
want.
last.
So along with this, I have added what I like to call force generators, which is where you can apply forces to all the rigid bodies. And with that, welcome to Elysian Shadows, the 2D platformer. Well, I've applied gravity. Also, there's all kinds of fucked up shit happening. The resolution's not perfect, but boink! Oh fuck! Boink! It's Mario Brothers.
I see you've discovered my race.
First, I kicked my ass off the map when I was trying to fuck with some shit. Then I equipped Tyler's fireball, and everything went to hell. This is Tyler's fireball. For some reason, it's I have no idea.
Yeah.
Check it out. Boosh!
Yeah, and it'll make everything transparent like what you were saying a minute ago.
Wait, the fireball makes things oh my god.
Yes. This is what happens when I do dev inside the Dropbox and forget about it, and I just kind of leave this really crazy experiment I was doing with attenuation factors and shit in.
Dude, that kind of looks awesome.
So technically the light that you have isn't light, and the only light that's coming is from that, and it's also fucking with the outline.
Jesus, that kind of... We could probably tell the fans, we
working
were
as
testing
intended.
Something,
I mean, I was testing
area
something.
of impact is being rendered, and, they would never know that we actually completely fucked this up.
Oh, no, that's working as intended. That's not a bug, Watson, that's a feature. Talk to me about spectrum mapping.
Alright, so, according to the handy-dandy notebook, where I worked this shit out, I finished implementing another fairly big feature for ES. Step 4. So, we pretty much did a lot of shader shit. We really wanted to push what we can do with pixel art to the limits. We wanted to do things that other pixel art games couldn't do with the dynamic lighting and the normal mapping and shit.
It's supposed to be a next-gen 2D RPG.
Something that I had been thinking about in the back of my mind, and Patrick really wanted it, and you had mentioned it a couple times, and I was like, no, fuck that, I don't want to do that. And then I was like, well, I guess I could do that. What I've been working on is I've implemented specular mapping along with the bump mapping in the engine.
Ooh.
So what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to give kind of a glisten to metallic objects, to wet objects, to snow.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the diffuse light is a function of your the object's position relative to the light source. This is also a function of the light source, the object's position, and your perspective. Your position relative to that. So when you look at something from a certain perspective, it will glint. So what we have here is kind of a level that we're just dicking off in. I like this one because Patrick made these tanks. It's these tanks would be a really good candidate for specular mapping. So would this, so would a window or a mirror or something, because it's something that could glisten at you.
Yes.
So what we have here is this is the tile sheet that populates the map. Yep. So I have crazy bumped it.
Oh, God.
This is the normal map, nothing new, no one gives a shit. So this is the specularity map, where it tries to calculate the shininess of an object based on some fancy sampling algorithm bullshit.
Yes.
Alright, so I've modified the shaders to where we support specularity maps. So here we are in that level. Base lighting, no normal mapping, no specular mapping, whatever the shit. So I'm about to...
Looks normal. Yeah, it looks just normal.
I'm about to add a light to the scene, so Alt-X. Now, what you'll notice here is this glint here That's the specularity of that object. You see how it actually truly looks glassy and metallic?
Yes.
And you see how relative to my position in 3D, that's where the reflection is.
I'll see your hands in front of it.
Oh, well, shit, my bad.
Well, because like in a normal 2D RPG, it would just be flat. There would be no...
Right. So that's what we're going to be doing. We want, like...
Walk in front of the barrels.
The barrels look a little fucked up. Because barrels aren't really metallic. Well, no, they look alright. But yeah, you can see the specularity. So like I said, we're gonna be specular mapping things like wet surfaces, glasses, weapons. Like your sword will fucking glint based on the position of the sun in the sky. Will be the angle of reflection for the sword. Or like something else we had to do is traditionally, like in a 3-dimensional game, the specular map's view angle is relative to the camera. Well, obviously in a 2D game, the camera's fixed.
Yeah.
The camera's like that. So there's really no change in specularity. There's no purpose in having a specular light. So in 2D space, what I decided to do is instead of using the actual view camera as if this was like a first-person game or something, I'm using Julian's position, the party member's position, as the camera viewpoint. So you can see that you're experiencing specularity in the scene as though you're Julian.
Yes.
Not as though you're...
Which even though you're viewing from a third person view, like it feels right, it looks right.
It does,
like,
yeah.
Because before you changed that, like everything was just like, what the hell? Like it was crazy looking because it's all right back at the camera.
Right. I just removed all the collision and shit over here.
Oh yeah, it's
can walk through the walls. I was sticking off with some specularity over here too. Totally overdid it, but like you can see, it looks really good.
Bottles and stuff. Let me see if I can
on the bottom. It looks really good on these too.
Oh, like the piles of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that they're necessarily specular. These look really good.
Oh yeah, those specular maps are.
They're
based off the normal maps, which are not correct because they're inverted anyway.
Like this window looks really good. That's correct. Correct specularity. But yeah, now we'll be able to do some really, really freaking awesome effects. Like Patrick is gonna redo well, he's not gonna redo them. He's gonna take the roofs in what the fuck? Yeah, I'm retarded. Too much caffeine. He wants to make these roofs, for example, in certain towns, especially like if my Mac doesn't shit itself, the tips.
You got the engine open, don't you?
Yeah, dude. Oh, that explains it. Like the tips here, you see how they're metallic?
Yep.
He's going to take these and he's going to make them flat on the normal map, but he's also going to make them highly specular. So the rooftops of the houses will glint as the sun.
You could probably do with all the pipes and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly, the pipes and things like that. So it's going to be like subtle things we're going to add that are really going to make this game look like, god damn, that looks fucking good.
What's going to be really weird is it's going to go from like seeing these tile sheets to where everything looks like really vibrant and colorful and whatnot, to building a level and it looks bland, but as soon as you launch it with all the actual lighting and the specularity and like the ambience and everything, then it'll actually look the way it's intended. Like, because he'll have to wash some of that stuff out to get the lights just right, or like desaturate and all kinds of stuff. So,
for those of you who've been following my blog posts about the Elysian Shadows soundtrack, I mentioned taking the Genesis snare and kicks kind of from Metropolis Zone in Sonic 2. And I have done that, and it sounds a little bit like this. So if I want to just have snares, I can... So there will actually be the classic drum set that we all grew up with and love. That will be on the soundtrack, and it's awesome. And for those who don't know how to do sampling, is if you have the original song, which is like this, all you do is you just kind of single out which part you want. So I just want the kick, so I grab that, and then that's the kick. That's what's right there. And it, like, say if I wanted the tom, I get this part, I throw it in here, and then I would load it in how I want it to play. So now it'll have the tom. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. So we'll actually have, like Harvest Moon's another one that I'm going to try and rip some stuff off of, and there's going to be little bits here and there that will actually remind you of the games we all love and grew up with. So the soundtrack's going to be sweet.
Alright, you sack, introduce us to the latest.
Well, I was looking at some of Patrick's concept art for one of our new areas here, an area we've been calling the Valley of Corrupt Gravity.
Jesus.
It is very epic.
Torn asunder and kind of epic as shit.
Right. Floating island ruins.
So this was Patrick's, I guess not mock-up, but actual
Like first
creation.
pass, I guess.
Yeah, it was first pass.
Very rough, but yeah.
But you can kind of see it beginning to take shape here. And right after he finished this, we actually had 2 other artists finally approach us.
Right.
So we decided to do like an art test.
As part of their recruitment, they're working on stuff for us. So yeah, we have like basically an army of 3 artists right now. It's kind of fucking awesome.
It's the most artists we've ever had. First of all, that's the most art that's ever been done in like, I don't know.
And they're all working in parallel, and they're all really, really good. It's like the art for ES is about to just literally explode.
Some of this, like,
We have an army.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, yeah.
Kind of side by side here, you can kind of see some of the same textures. Obviously, it's not the same like resolution.
Right.
And he kind of did like an outline of this. Let me see. This was what he's finished. This guy's.
Just some of the ruins, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
That was Leandro's.
I really like the texture and like the metallic-y feel of that, but you can see how it didn't really hash well with Patrick's more cartoony comic book look.
So like, kind of what we were going for here, like this floating island, you'll say, has been influenced by quite a few of the classics. What we have here, tell them what that is. That is the top secret Elysian Shadows design document.
I know at least a half a dozen people that would probably kill some people for
Probably
this.
give their left nut for that. Believe it or not, everyone's like, oh, do you even make a game? Dude,
Like-
we had a design document for ES planned out with like complete storyline. ES began as a storyline idea. It did not begin as an engine. We've had an idea for a story we wanted to tell for years.
When I was first introduced to the project, Falco handed me a single piece of paper that was the storyline.
And it was the synopsis.
And
it
the
was
synopsis.
fucking cool. And
it was cool. And from that, I wove a good bit of this. Eventually, everybody else started getting their hands in.
Right. So we have
We've got
seriously
pretty
we
much
have
the
like
entire game planned out.
yeah, pretty much.
A
We
bunch
have
of
the
Patrick's
party,
concept arts for some of the different areas.
every different area. One thing we want to do.
Like some of the ones we don't actually have concept art for. We've taken reference.
See there, that's Chrono Trigger. We like to. We also have games that we're referencing or inspired by. That's Final Fantasy VIII for one of the towns that we have yet to do. FF8 Balam Garden, right?
Yeah.
So there we go. So this particular mock-up, this ruined place, was actually inspired by Chrono Trigger Zeal.
Yes.
Chrono Trigger Zeal was kind of like a beautiful, mysterious place with like magic and stuff like that. This is a little bit more decadent, but it was also inspired by that. Maybe like a Zeal gone completely fucking awry.
Yeah.
Right.
There's actually quite a bit of the game that's a lot more darker undertones and stuff. If you read a lot of the lore, like inspect all the different items and stuff, like you'll kind of really get the idea of like what this culture was like, and
Right.
what exactly may have led to their downfall. And instead of just running through, killing enemies, kill the boss, get loot.
Right.
You actually learn more about the culture.
We've planned like a very storyline-centric game. Like the story has been very important to us throughout this like entire development process.
Oh, yeah.
Storyline and characters. We're also very character-driven.
Inside of that one concept art he actually had a little robot, and we've been
The robot.
we've been kind of searching for I guess our blue slime or our
Yeah, like our
claptrap or-
trademark, like like the first enemy you see, who's like kind of like a little bitch, but like he's a recurring character.
little different variations as you travel and go to
You
different
see him like
areas,
you associate him like that's the ES guy. Yeah, we've been kind of like trying to establish that. It's like this is one of the first concepts for him. We really like him actually. ES has more like technological undertones, so he's a
thought this
bot.
was really, really awesome. Kind of the idea of them like hive minding together like replicators. Or
Right,
something
pulling
like
their
that,
asses
where,
together and beating your ass.
Individually they may be like kind of scared or like a
There
little
we go,
aggressive,
there
but
we
not
go.
quite powerful and intimidating. But like you get a bunch of them together.
They'll beat your ass. Yeah, just one of them, like you'll just like destroy them. It's
You can
like
see some
they're the
different
first
variants.
weakest ass thing. And look, they can store shit. But like, what? All right, what is it named right now? It's the
R.
no. He had a real name. The artist
It's the R.
Leandro gave him a real name. He was like the. I don't remember. Qbot, that's right. But Tyler and I gave him a much better name. He's the
R355-T-bot.
R355-T-bot. The Reestbot.
The Reestbot.
Tenderly named. It's our nickname, the Reestbot.
Because we like to reverb bots. That's kind of where we got some of the ideas for this that we passed on to him for
Yeah,
concepts.
from Mega Man Legends.
Mega Man Legends, because it was so iconic that like the single eye and you would hear like the like and you knew like what it was, or like you get to the boss and you see like a big single red eye, like you knew what it was. It was very
Right,
iconic and very
right.
memorable. having something like this that the players, like I said, can both associate with, but also kind of, they get to a new area. Not only are they exploring the new area, you know, they're getting new abilities, everything like that, but like they know that there's probably one of these somewhere. Like they're looking out to see what kind of variant there is, or like there's a familiar face, you know, like.
Do you want to flip through and like kind of like wet their appetite a tiny bit? Just get them wet and wanting, and then to like flip off the camera before they know too much.
Some of the concept art for
basically, it's a shared Google Doc to where we're all we all comment and we're like, nah, I don't really like that, or I have a better idea. I think these are the party members. Museum owner's daughter.
Rand,
yeah.
Or drunken scholar.
Fallen angel.
Miranda, or yeah, we haven't really.
I like Miranda. Goddammit. Yeah, skip him. They're not allowed to see him.
Oh, okay.
But go head to like the biomes. They'll like that. Yeah, there's Lauren, the first town, the church. There's the caves.
Well, one of the things as well is having you know, these crazy like pockets of ruins and whatnot, which really allowed us to be really creative because it doesn't really have to tie into the world.
Right. Yeah. That was what. Yeah, we have so much creative freedom because of the way our storyline works and the way the ruins work in Elysian Shadows. It really does not have to be cohesive. Like you can be in one completely different environment, like in the present day, but then you enter these ancient ruins where like all hell is broken loose, and it's not quite coherent with the rest, and it's given us. I don't want to say too much.
I was trying to think if we could kind of tell them the desert example kind of we had.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't tell them that.
Okay.
Continue.
Anyway, but we also, on top of that, we wanted our world to be interesting, not just the ruins. Because
right.
That's
it's just it's different. Like the world it's brighter. It's a little more cheerful, whereas the ruins are very melancholy, mysterious, kind of creepy. Yeah.
Well, one of the things too is like, you know, we talked about not having like a true overworld where you don't like leave a town and like you're now like this character on like this big flat map that's unattractive. Like, so we have all these different biomes, these like archetype of areas that we really wanted to make sure we had. Like you had like some of the seaside stuff.
Right.
This is Resident Evil kind of style. But you can see some like the ruined buildings, kind of like Mayan and Far East ruins.
Right.
Volcano stuff.
Is that Chrono Trigger? Donkey Kong Country and Chrono Trigger for our jungle. Yeah, by the time you finish ES, you will have explored some serious shit. Like, we want you to feel like you've been on a true journey, like, around the world.
I mean, one of the things, too, is, like, I mean, a lot of people play games to level up their character, or I mean, they may just play the game because the story is that great and everything else is terrible. But I truly believe, you know, getting to a new area in a game
should be exciting and rewarding and beautiful. Like, it.
You can't wait to get the new area because you're like, man, it's just gonna be this lush environment. Like, you have, like, kind of what we would call, like, culture kits, where you have just this personification of this culture in this area.
Right.
And getting to know more about them, experiencing them, seeing how they live and how they interact, like, through the passage of time with our day system.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Like I said, that is a reward on its own. So, like, you do have that sense of adventure and exploration.
Dude, that's Ice Cap Zone, isn't it, from Sonic? Yeah, that's an Ice Cap Zone.
Yes.
Donkey Kong Country again.
Had,
we're influenced by a lot of the greats.
The steampunky rooms and stuff here.
Yeah.
This was actually Mass Effect, like a kind of crazy techno bar. That's gonna be
Alright, there's the map. So fucking. We're not gonna tell you what this is for, but let's just say that's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yes.
What inspired us to do that?
Did you say something was speculative?
So, I am working on, like, setting up the museum to be all nice and pretty with, like, collision and solidity and everything, and scripting it up so it's a playable level, and I'm working on specular mapping, and shit is a little too specular.
Oh, my eyes.
So...
Also, those blue, like, decorations for the colliders.
First of all, like, the specular mapping is making everything fucking on the object layer slightly translucent.
Object layer was.
Or, yeah, we don't have object.
Oh no, that's I'll tell you exactly what that
elevated
is. That's my reason. My bad. I'll have to fix that for you real quick. I might have done that.
But it is specular, man. Dude, you could, like, with the specular mapping like this, apparently you could specular map it so that based on the angle you're viewing this motherfucker, that is how translucent it is. Like, if you look at it from, like, a certain angle, or, like, the light's hitting it from a certain angle, like, it's transparent, otherwise it's not. You can make ghosts in ES.
Yeah.
Specular ghosts.
Let me fix that that transparent bullshit I did there. My bad.
I didn't even know it was you. Oh, fuck. I guess I didn't fuck it up.
You got something for us?
So, I've been playing with the lighting. Part of what we want to do with ES is we want to like give off an aura of like fucking mystique and like
An epicness.
And like really mystery in the ruins. And that's kind of like these are artifacts in the museum that would be found like in the ruins, like
Yeah.
ancient technology that the player's supposed to be like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Like
Yeah,
highly
like,
advanced
why is this buried
civilization.
underneath the
Why
ground?
is this buried underneath the ground? Stuff like that. We want it to be really foreboding, almost like creepy.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm playing with like lighting. One of the things we want to do is like, especially because there's this technological aspect to the ruins and like robots and shit. When like the surface doesn't necessarily have this technology, so we want to emphasize a lot of that with lighting. So
Set the mood, if you will.
set the mood here. So what I've done here, check this out. Like imagine a dungeon with this. What I've done is we've specular mapped
And bump it.
and bump mapped this shit and elevated it in 3D space. Let's see. So this is the scene. We've elevated basically, let me enable all the layers. These are all the layers. We've elevated things so that basically their normals are facing you instead of flat.
Yep.
We've applied a specular and a bump, and basically I have a light with a slightly green specular factor to it,
Yes.
and then a blue diffuse factor, and you can see like the way it reflects off of crystals and fucking metallic objects is just really beautiful. Like it looks really creepy, and it's gonna be really cool. You can see how like the eyes and things like that, and like the pillar.
Yeah.
See how it's
yeah.
moving in 3D.
Yeah. That hand you can really tell
Yeah.
too.
No,
Like,
we're
it's so long.
gonna use this lighting engine to like do some really creepy, cool
It's gonna
things.
be so awesome.
That's one of the things we want to do. See, look
Well,
at
I
this
mean,
guy.
like
oh god,
you're like way down below underground, and like say your torch goes out or something, and
Right.
like you just have to like I don't know navigate by like the glowing crystals or like some sort of like creepy monster glows, so, like you just see its outline or some shit. Like
dude, those glass bottles look hella good.
oh yeah,
Look at that shit.
I think
Yeah,
light, is
that's another aspect too.
Are
is,
those
like,
transparent, or is that light making them opaque?
No, I think they are transparent. The light's just making them shiny.
Oh.
So I think that is correct. But like, we actually, Connor, our fucking.
Well, what is that?
This is the design document, which is basically top secret. Some of our influences for ES, so obviously, like, it's not a survival horror game, but we are influenced by a lot of survival horror games.
Resident
Our musician,
Evil.
Connor,
Oh, yeah.
is, like, super into survival horror. So we wanted aspects of these games in the ruins to make them, to give them, like, a little bit of mystery, like, almost a little bit of Jesus. This is kind of freaky.
Yeah.
So like we've planned like tense scenes, tense sequences where like lights go out and you have to navigate through ruins with lights, and maybe as part of the specular mapping we can adjust what is and is not reflected based on certain wavelengths of light. So you can have a flashlight and you can see like fucking blood on the walls and shit. And you're like, oh
yeah.
fuck. And
Or
some
you
of the
use it to
ruins-
reveal like hidden text in a
Right,
puzzle, or
right.
like, no, I was talking about having like say like shadow enemies that like are trying to attack you and stuff, and they look like shadows, but until you shine like a certain light or like a flashlight or a candle or something, you can't actually see the enemies or damage them.
And one of the
Like-
things this lighting engine can do too, like this is actually a bug, and then we left it in because we were like, Jesus, this is awesome.
yeah.
You can actually light things to turn them opaque and transparent from light.
Yep.
So like we were mentioning the ghost shit, you can have objects that don't exist until you shine a light on them, which is going to really add like another layer of Jesus Christ to some of the like the
Well,
mind.
combine that with like the materials and stuff that we're talking about having as well.
right. This shit-
Like literally, the sky is the limit with this,
look at
and
that-
like
look at that shit.
I can't get my knee anymore. It hurts.
You got the crystally part of that.
Yeah, like I said, we got plenty of sheet space left. I'll just see maybe if Patrick will animate some of that or something.
Right.
I mean, I guess it won't be like powered up because it's in a museum, but maybe it'll like sparkle or do some cool shit.
Right. So, let me.
I really want to add like that crystal and stuff, like make it slightly transparent. And
I
see,
guess
like,
I could
try to give it,
actually
like, some
show
depth.
you some of the fucking museum. Not that we should be giving too much of this away, but okay.
Spoilers.
So Tyler did a really fucking epic job adding spotlights to the museum, which really adds like another layer of depth to it. So
Oh, yeah.
they're like these are on display. There's lights from above, and I'm currently scripting these to where you can walk up and examine them and be like, "Whoa, Jesus, what the hell is this?" And like,
Yeah, they've got those little
tells you like
nameplates
some
on the side of the
foreboding
aisle.
secret, about them. So this is the museum. This is in Lauren. And this is kind of where you kind of get introduced to the mystery of the ruins. Like you start wondering, whoa, what the fuck? There's more to the world of ES than obviously like is above ground.
See, Lauren's a pretty small town, but it's got this museum that you don't quite see anywhere else in the game.
Right. Okay, that was fucked up.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm scripting up the library right now, so you can like go up and be like, oh, ancient text.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He did a really good job. Look how random those books look.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
They
and
don't
that's
look very
very
tiled.
few tiles that he did.
Right.
That's pretty awesome
Really
job
good
on that,
football.
Patrick. You're lighting the top of the bookshelf from the row behind it. Yeah, we might need to.
Yeah, this
elevate
room's
that.
not supposed to be lit like that. We've
Oh,
got
yeah,
the
see, look,
phantom-
there-
yeah, this
yep.
room's fucked. This room does not need to be lit
Yup.
like that.
So this trendy-looking gentleman right here is our iOS developer. I know you can't tell from the thick glasses or anything like that, but he's been working all night trying to re-implement libgyro on an iOS device. Godspeed, right? And it used to be a lot easier than it is now because we're actually doing a lot of really like advanced OpenGL shit, and it turns out that I'm not necessarily GLES2 compliant, even though I thought I was. So this guy's had to go through hell. So you got anything to say, man?
It's been freaking hard. There's like 150 to-dos in the project file right now. Just trying to get it to build. It's my mission.
Yeah.
So, I've done something fucking awesome.
Have we?
So for the rigid body physics engine, one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to actually give the tiles themselves physical properties. For example, like Pokemon, you have like the tall grass and shit.
Yeah.
Well, we want that so that when you're like colliding or kicking or pushing a body in that grass, there's actually more friction because you're moving against the grass.
That makes sense.
Or for example, like, you know, Pokemon, you like slide on the ice and shit. We want to be able to do that. So in my ugly as all shit, the artists are gonna be so pissed with all the beautiful art. I made this fucking hideous sandbox with like
That's how I know it was you.
mushrooms and shit. So you know it's me. So like, this tile that I'm on right now, this is how I move with like force application. This is how I move.
It doesn't
with normal.
animate. Yeah.
So this that I'm on right now has a normal friction coefficient. It's actually damping. So this tile is slower. It damps you much more. See how like the difference in speed? It's like this would be something like the grass, and this would be something like ice. Whoosh. See that?
Oh yeah.
And it also continues with beat that motherfucker on there. You
Yeah.
see how it doesn't damp as much from the collision contact. So that's definitely cool as shit. So I wanted to something like that we wanted to do fucking desperately. We wanted this physics engine in ES for a long time, and for a while, like, it really kicked my ass. Like, it was hard
It
as
hasn't
hell
been
to
in
implement.
for a long time. I know you've had a lot of the code. But
So what happened is I was in my first grad class was CPE 790. It was a GPU FPGA hardware acceleration class, and you were supposed to take a CPU bound problem and hardware accelerate it. And me being a sneaky motherfucker like I always am, I'm like, okay, how do I work Elysian Shadows into this without anyone knowing? So I give you GPU accelerated 2D rigid body physics engine by Falco Gerger's CPE 790 final project. So for this final project, I implemented all of this on the GPU using OpenCL. So it was moved to the GPU, and it was using fucking GPU cores to do all the contact resolution and shit like that in parallel. Well, when I wrote it, obviously I knew it was going to be an ES, and I abstracted like a bunch of shit away so that it was already using libgyro, and it was already, I knew like, okay, I would want to implement this call this way on the Dreamcast and stuff, so it was already like SIMD accelerated, basically ready to fucking go, and I developed it for ES. It had some kind of major problems. The contact resolution was kind of shit. My point of contact algorithms weren't good. Luckily, I'm a lot smarter now than I was then. So I picked up this project, ported it back over to the latest libgyro, fixed a bunch of shit, and that's kind of what we have now.
yeah,
And I have some really funny pictures. Marcel took these. This was like this was like way the fuck back in the day.
Can we show these on YouTube? Like, is this if you took these?
Yeah, so see, that's my presentation in class. I'm like trying to explain the separating axis theorem to everyone. It's ugly, motherfucker.
Jesus.
But okay, so I just want to talk about some of the attributes we support real quick. So let me go down to static attributes.
Super secret code.
Super So basically, you can give things. Tell me if I'm forgetting something. You can give them mass, so it's easier or harder to push things that are more massive. For example, this doesn't have much mass, so it's easy as shit to push. This is a little more massive. It's a little harder to push. One of these is like super massive, and the wall is basically an infinite mass rigid body.
Yeah.
You can also give something a moment of inertia, which is how easy it is to rotate.
Yeah, that actually did
Z-axis.
rotate a little bit. Yeah.
So these are rotating. Some of these are easy to rotate. Some of these are hard to rotate. For example, like something long like that will have a lower moment of it. Well, the way that the torque is applied will rotate it more based on its moment.
You're talking about like windmills with like actual wind.
So then you
forces
can
and
also
stuff.
give them a coefficient of restitution, which is how much momentum is conserved on a collision. So for example, we can do something like billiards. We can do it easily. Like you have a pool ball hit something. When it hits something, a pool ball is bouncy as shit. It has a high coefficient of restitution, meaning a lot of momentum is conserved. It basically ricochets back off. But in ES, we'll also be able to say like, okay, Julian's not that bouncy, you know. So when he hits stuff, it's not transferring that much momentum to other things. We'll be able to say like how sticky things are, how elastic they are, things like that.
Pretty.
What else was there that I'm forgetting?
You're talking about the
angular damping, coefficient of restitution, mass, angular. I know there's something else. There's a lot of values that we can tweak.
Drawing a blank.
Also, if I try really hard,
you can shoot a fireball across those tiles and it affects it. BT dubs.
Really?
Yeah, it'll get stuck on the ice or grass ones. Check that.
It'll get stuck.
Yeah, because it slows down because it only has a single moment of force applied on the spawn.
Boom. Actually,
did you level up?
Jesus, man, that is a
What the hell?
angry ass fire.
Shoot it long ways. That's something ain't right. I must have changed that, but yeah, it'll get stuck and then it doesn't actually despawn.
Right.
And it's
That's
working as
the way
intended.
that this is working.
Did
is
you
the
see that
physics
spinning?
engine. Yeah, dude, that looks really good.
Yeah.
The physics engine it allows you to apply forces like general forces. For example, I can apply gravity to everything in the scene uniformly, so you can see like there's still a little bit of glitches, but like
Dancing.
yeah, that's platformer. Yes. Oh, and I fucked up.
With shift perspective, might let you jump around on some islands or something.
Right. But we can also
Mini games
apply
or
things to points
vehicles?
of contact, so like we can, you know, obviously like when you fucking hit something with a sword.
Oh,
We're also thinking about like based on your physical strength, based on your level, you won't be able to like push or lift boulders or shit like that. We wanted physics to play very intimately into the world of ES.
Oh, yeah.
Like, very intimately in with combat, with the environmental interaction, things like that.
Let's say you even go into like a dungeon or what have you, and you have like a bunch of magic users. You don't necessarily have like your big strong brawler guy with you. You may have to take a different route. It might be a little bit longer, maybe a little bit more perilous because you couldn't take that shortcut, or maybe there's like a secret or something you missed that like there's a reason for you to go back now that like you've leveled up your strength or you've gotten a different character or some sort of magical ability to melt like walls of ice or something like that. Like God, that's one reason why I said like the areas are actually reward unto their own too, because just so much that we can do with it. Like it's a treat for us to write it and program it, but like for people to experience it, it is what the hell would you do? I'm recording. What you got for me?
Well, so Tyler's doing all of like the front end combat shit, like actually designing fucking spells themselves and how they'll look aesthetically. Yeah. So I'm doing like the back end shit, like the physics and stuff. So what I've done now is I'm working on the damage and how it's like applied and how it's represented visually. So watch as Julian takes damage.
Jesus.
Alright, so let me explain to you like how this is gonna work. So for ES, we thought it'd be really, really sweet. So like we have like all the physics engine, all this stuff. We wanted the damage to also be
Interactable with physics.
with physics. Interact with physics, that doesn't sound. Tired as shit, goddammit. A lot of caffeine, a lot of nicotine.
I knew what you meant.
Speaking of which, you need more. So okay. I'm back. So let's say like I'm dude and like you hit me with a sword. When you hit someone, I want it to actually transfer the momentum into the damage. So like the 10 that like you see will be like whoo. So it's actually like you're beating the fucking damage out of them. So it actually like gives you a better sense of like how much damage you're doing.
Just gives you
like
a little bit more
fire a rocket
immersion.
at them, yeah, it really does. Like
Like
we had ideas for like crits. We'll do like different stuff, but this is actually like a true rigid body in the sense, goddamn, in the sense that it has integration and it is actually being affected by gravity. That would be something where like an uppercut would do that, but then like, you know, you get hit from over here, it'll be like,
yeah. Well, like you say, like they're slowly bleeding, like, you know, blood's trickling out, but like, you know, the life is just kind of like,
yeah.
like, you know, it also is like that.
And like you also have full control to where like you can decide what's displayed. Like maybe it's like, obviously, like if you're healing, it will be green or light blue or something.
Maybe
Like
got
you're
like a
standing
plus
on a
in front of it
healing
or
tile,
something.
it might like the physics that are applied to it might be different. Like it might just like go up like that.
Well, you could even have like, you know, maybe like poison damage could be purple and it would like
Right,
kind of come down across the player. I mean, you can do all kinds
like
of
an
cool shit.
icon, like a skull and crossbones when you become poison, like, and
You
then
can,
it
you can
starts
texture that, or I guess those that font is image fonts, isn't
It
it?
is an image font.
Ooh, yeah.
Right now, it won't take sprites though. It will just take text. But fuck, I just made more work for myself, but that'll totally happen. So
Add that to the list.
literally bleeding numbers.
I think it'd be really cool, and I want to see if we can come up with it maybe tonight for the fans. Shoot a fireball or something into like a giant mass of enemies, and you can have like damage kind of go out in all directions, just like
that's the plan. I want to integrate this with everything, like, because I'm gonna need like your animation and stuff to make it look cool, and then from the physics engine of my code, I need to take the point of contact between two rigid bodies,
yeah.
and transfer the momentum with like the coefficient of restitution, all that shit over to this.
Use some big words there.
So I know, it makes me sound a lot smarter than I am. People are like, God damn, coefficient of restitution? What the fuck is that?
Attenuation factors.
We in graduate school, we know this shit.
Jesus.
Alright, so I was Googling Elysian Shadows the other day, like I often do, because I'm kind of a narcissistic piece of shit. And I came upon this. Okay, it's on the Speedy Deletion Wiki, whatever. It's on Wikia. But this is how I know we've hit the big leagues.
Oh, is that
You know
the,
what I'm talking-
the dude? Yeah.
So some motherfucker gave us an entire article on the Elysian Shadows tank. The Elysian Shadows tank was notorious for its controversial devout in Elysian Shadows live stream #1. The tank was created by pixel artist Patrick and is seen on the right side of the wizard's house door. It contains a light blue liquid which is seen in other pipes that run throughout the house. Although the Gyrovorbis subscribers expressed mixed emotions in the legitimacy of the tank's location, it was featured again in the Elysian Shadows livestream #2. The development team expressed their approval for the tank's location, and it seems likely the tank will appear in the final game release. Some motherfucker wrote that about
I
us.
think that's more than like the debacle about the tank actually had.
I feel so, like, privileged. By the way, motherfuckers,
Or did he change his theme or something? It was on purpose.
since you like took the time to do that, let me see if I can find it. Let me zoom out. There it is, the Elysian Shadows tank that is so important. It got its own wiki page, and guess what? It is in the final game. Where is it? Right there. That tank on the Alchemist shop. All right, so it is. Let's see, what time is that? 1:10 a.m. While Tyler and I here have been deving, working on like combat and stuff, this motherfucker has been fighting how many build errors? Like hundreds.
Yeah.
Trying to get ES to build on the iOS device. Let us know what just happened.
So, out of nowhere, it actually built. And
It is a miracle, literally.
that is the black screen of it building and running on my screen, on my iPod.
Wait, it doesn't crash immediately? It actually sits
No,
like...
I took away the bad accesses, which were just the audio OGG files.
Yeah.
But it is actually giving output, saying that it just had errors loading files because the file API is obviously not.
Right, yeah. And I think
So
we...
it just couldn't load
Assets,
some
yeah, that'll be the
concept
biggest thing.
assets. Other than that, it is running on iOS now.
Alright, we're done. That's it. ES on iOS.
Yeah,
fucking did it.
We got an icon, and yeah, that.
Alright, we'll release it. It's the most epic black screen you've ever seen.
Yeah.
God damn.
So after we went through hell and we got libgyro building on iOS and like I raped all my shaders and like Tyler's been raping Lua. I've decided that with all these platforms and shit, and like all this like physics and all the lighting and stuff, we need some sort of better way to debug in real time. So what I've done is I've created the God mode. Also, look how fucking cool the specular mapping looks. I have like the sun in here, so it's like day-night in the cave. But don't worry about it. Like if I fucking take the sun away.
Yeah, it looks all normal.
Yeah, it looks like normal. Check the fucking spec. Look how fucking specular that shit is, dude.
That's pretty spectacular.
So fucking Alright, anyway. I digress. I give you God mode.
What does that do?
So, don't hate. There's a lot of shit going on right now. So this is the frames per second. This is the poly count. This is the textures. I can see how many megabytes of video RAM we're using right now. So for example, like I know the Dreamcast only has 8 megs of VRAM. Like I can see, basically I can see like from this, like will this rape the Dreamcast? Will this rape the iPhone? Blah, blah, blah.
That's all in real time.
We have the number of lights on screens, number of entities, number of contacts. So for example, as I'm walking into this, see there's one contact. Number of position resolution and velocity resolution iterations it takes to resolve the contacts, the number of Lua scripts loaded, the number of instances instantiated of the scripts, the number of megabytes the Lua interpreter is using currently. It's actually not much at all. 0.3. It's like nothing. This is what time it is in game, which is like what the sun's based on. We have a 24-hour in-game system, and this is the position of me. So,
Yeah.
yes.
I like that Lua memory usage. It'll prove useful when I start carrying.
Oh, dude! Like I've seen like some of the scripts. Like it's just like.
I know the fireball.
And
one,
then like it'll shit for a minute, and then it like drops because you know the garbage collector kicked in.
Oh, a couple of the other ones, like the
Actually,
that script I used to create
fireball
other
one.
entities, like
Oh
you know,
my
you're supposed to
God.
be sharing like the same attributes if it's going to be
All
the
right,
same
here's your
thing.
Fireball. Here's your fireball, Watson.
Oh God, my fucking knee. That's not, but okay, that is okay.
Okay, whatever. All right. Lua megabytes 0.5. Boom. 0.66. Boom. 0.71. So while I was busy being delirious because it's fucking 8:37 a.m. and we haven't slept because we have shit to do, I saw Tyler fuck something up. So the obligatory grabbing of the camera. Well, look at that guy.
Yeah,
That audacious motherfucker.
He is Ziggy the Unamused.
Ziggy the Unamused.
King Ziggy, if you will. Anyway, working on getting him to like give two fucks, and I don't know. I initiated like the behavior script, and it just kind of like.
Jesus. What is it supposed to be doing? Jesus.
Well, I was having problems with him actually like walking around, so I was trying to troubleshoot the A star, and this is normally the this.
Oh, wow.
There's the sun that's.
So are those entities, or are you dynamically modifying?
Yes. No, it's entities.
Kind of looks cool as shit as you place it.
Yeah, well, like there's so many of them that there's probably like at least.
You know,
600.
honestly, you could have told me that it meant to be like that, and I'd be like, oh, fucking cool. I would never know. Totally meant to be like
God,
that.
my Mac's about to crash. How many lines of debug was that?
Pull up Ziggy sprite sheet. So we're working on this guy that Patrick made, right? This audacious motherfucker.
He is Ziggy the Unamused.
Ziggy the Unamused. So also pull up a picture on Google of you know who. So this is what Patrick made.
Oh God, I hate.
He's like an audacious, pissed off little like slime blobby thing. And like he reminds us of one of our favorite characters from one of our childhood games. So we decided to name him after that. The Almighty Sluggy the Unshaven from Yoshi's Island. Just like the most reested fucking crazy ass like.
Look at those eyebrows.
Look at him. Look at that guy. That guy means business. So yeah. Ziggy the Unamused is a tribute to Sluggy
King
the
Ziggy.
Unshaven. King Ziggy. My bad.
He's got minions that'll come forth and do battle with us here shortly as soon as he remembers how to fucking locomote himself.
Get the fuck back to scripting him. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little fucking beside myself with this stuff.
I heard some
I've
fucking
been doing my
titillating.
ass a bit. So like I rapped like so much shit to Lua and like did so much stuff like and we're trying to work on these caves. Like I actually switched to some level design and Lua scripting.
I saw you in the toolkit, and I really didn't know what to say.
Oh, I know. I'm learning how to use my own fucking software. So basically what I've done is I've created our first side quest in ES.
Oh my god.
There's just like a bunch of random shit I'm testing out. So there's like specular mapping and
Yeah.
shit going on. There's, ignore the solar eclipse. I have like the day-night system going on in the ruins, but... Okay, so we're in the ruins. Oh, who's this chick? What does she have to say for herself? Let's talk to her. Hello, traveler. I was attacked by a group of Reaver bots, and I seem to have lost my way. Can you please help me? Absolutely not. Wow, you're totally an asshole. Oh, God. Let's talk to her again. Attacked by a group of Reaver bots, seem to have lost my way. Can you please help me? I guess so. Thank you. I'll do my best to keep you healed. Oh, she's joined your party. Okay. So now we have to go through these ruins.
Alright.
See how it's like becoming night and shit?
Kind of.
We've got
Hard to tell in the camera.
Yeah, day night's going on here. Well, I can get rid of the. That's without the sun. That's with this fucked up sun. All right, so we journey deeper into the caves. Also, I dynamically faded to like a little bit more brooding track. I was fucking with like the specularity of these things, trying to see how they look.
Jesus.
I know it looks pretty cool.
Got all the fucking museum shit in here.
Yeah. I haven't like finished up where all these are gonna lead, but I finished the main location. This is the bonus room. Welcome.
Jesus.
Thank you so much for taking me to the shrine of the great Lord Falco. I'll now bestow upon you my blessing. That's it, you win.
I'm astounded.
So what the fuck do you have to say for yourself about it?
That ice is awesome. Like, look how it
We just got sent Leandro's latest work on Ice Cap Zone Act 3.
Look how he has like the ice like leaching to like the crevices.
Oh, I know. It looks really fucking good.
Oh my god. That.
Seriously, I am a bitch for ice levels. Like, I just love ice levels, and like I'm all about the ice and like the cold feels and fucking Ice Cap Zone, and oh,
That is some cool shit, man.
I can't wait to specular map this shit too.
Oh
Like,
my god. So many like little layers.
where
of,
to where like this glistens in the light and like the direction of the light, you know?
Yeah,
Fucking-
we should have like some actual like
Has
full like
glinting.
ice cavern area, or like you have to go out like on like a frozen lake, or like you said, you can like burn holes in it.
Yeah, like one of the. So what we want to do is we want to have like unique gameplay elements for each ruin, which tie back into wanting highly interactive environments, kind of Zelda-like, because we fucking hate RPGs that don't do that. So some of the ideas we had for this one was like using the torch and using your magic to actually burn through the ice and like find shit in it under the snow, burn through like holes in the ice to find items, or
Possibly you get snowed in on a cave in and you've got to like survive and get some food. And shit.
yeah. And Leandro was talking about I really like the idea, like the bottom layer of this ice cave is actually a frozen lake, and to where you actually wind up underwater in the ice cave. And imagine what we could do with them shaders.
Yeah, I mean, even if like you
Damp
know,
the fuck out of the
Just talking
physics
about, like,
engine,
having
do
it,
some like crazy shader, like oh god.
like frozen solid where you're like going down in like a deep ice cavern and it's like a frozen lake, or there's top frozen and like you're actually going in the water.
Actually going in the water, like some underwater RPG shit.
Jesus, fucking like
Some Donkey
aquatic-
Kong
oh,
Country,
yeah,
aquatic
yeah.
ambience. Oh.
Heard an exacerbated whale.
Well, alright, 9 a.m. So, we had this idea a while ago for a little bit of badassery, especially for like spell effects for certain, for rigid body force application spell effects.
You tired?
Fucking completely inarticulate. Out of my goddamn mind, but believe it or not, the code works. So, basically what I've done, lo and fucking behold, also I don't want to turn on the music, the music's fucking awesome. Okay. So we're back in my Reese dungeon, blah blah blah. It's beautiful. Ignore the shadows, they're just like testing. Alright, so we have a bunch of rigid bodies up here.
Yeah.
Let me turn off some shit. Rigid, they've got fucking colliders, blah blah blah. They're quite rigid. Now, see, I can push all of them, I can interact with all of them, blah blah blah. But what I've done is, you'll notice there are things that are, well, Reese did, like Mario things, and then there's metals. So
like
like
swords
these
and
swords
axes
and all
and-
these are flagged as metallic objects, whereas the rest of these are not metallic.
Okay.
So I'm able to apply a force to certain materials, because like the way we architected it, we can give different materials
Masks.
different masks. Yeah. So like one of them, for example, is metallic. So like an idea for a spell effect is like something like magnetic hands. Like you fucking bring in all the metals and then like fucking burst them out. So check it out. Just like a proof of concept. Watch the metals and watch the non-metals. See, I'm absorbing the metallic objects, whereas the non-metals, they're not being drawn to me by that force. See?
Oh, also, I want to be clear too. Like the masks that we set, when you're saying metals like that, it's not actually like metal.
Jesus.
Metals. Like we chose that mask and gave it to those.
Yeah,
and we
no,
called
they're
it
they're
metal.
like, it's just like a 32-bit
yeah,
mask.
it's a bit
and,
mask,
like,
so it can
whatever
be anything we
Yeah,
want.
for like whatever area like it suits our purpose, we assign different masks to different things,
Yes.
like depending on the situation. So another thing I did is like general like explosion physics. First of all, don't laugh. The moments of inertia are kind of reached right now. So
Oh, it's fine.
boom. It's
It
like
looks
just,
like you-
that just like applies to everything, like a giant ass force shits them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking cool to play with. Boom. And of course, gravity.
It's like Tyler's taking the old Ziggy the Unamused out for a stroll. Jesus.
Yeah, I had to do this with the golem to try and get the colliders and everything just right, and make sure the animations were okay. Instead of like loading in and like trying to attack them, I just instead of using Julian, I was them. Like,
He is pissed.
cool thing about it, I still have like all my items, so like
Jesus.
eh,
Jesus.
wreck destruction on the town. We both have been kind of working on our own respective projects since what?
We still haven't been
2?
to bed because we ain't got fucking time to sleep. It's almost 3 p.m.
Oh, so 12
I think
hours.
we might be dying. Well, I think we've adapted to it at this point.
Yes.
But I have made such fucking astounding progress.
Please explain to
So
the
first
fans.
of fucking all, because Tyler's a dick. First I give him a particle engine. He's like, that's not good enough. I need it to fade transparent. I'm like, oh fuck, okay. Then he's like, that's not good enough. I need it to be textured. I'm like, fuck, okay.
Yep.
It's not good enough. I need it to scale. Like all this fucking shit to the particle engine. Finally, he's like, that's not good enough. I want it to be affected by the same forces as the fucking rigid bodies.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, fundamentally, what a particle is in the engine versus what a rigid body is, completely fucking different. A rigid body is like, it's a component in an entity paradigm, whereas like,
Yeah.
a particle is more like a really low-level C structure that's just raw
Like,
fucking data that I'm using. It's really
Entity
lightweight.
light.
So I had to try to develop a kind of abstraction layer that will allow a force generator to act upon a particle and an entity in the same manner using the same API. So that's what I did
God.
on the wall over here.
Oh my.
And that was like, that was fucking nothing. I've spent like 2 fucking hours realizing I fundamentally fucking rested one of my data structures internally. So like, I'm allocating these particles, right? And they're inheriting from an abstract class that has something like apply force, blah blah blah, where a particle and a rigid body implement their own version of it. So okay, these classes have v tables because they have virtual pointers. That's how, or they have virtual functions. They have a virtual pointer that resolves that function at runtime. So what happened is I made a lightweight vector-like container, except it's cooler than a vector. It's like a memory pool that we're using, so like to stay the fuck away from STL, and it's statically allocated and it'll be fast on the Dreamcast. What I fucking did is in the constructor and the template, I allocated the pool with malloc instead of new, which did not initialize the fucking v-table of the data. So I was sitting there debugging for hours, like the memory addresses were right. I could see all of the values I was setting and getting them right, but every fucking time I would invoke a virtual function, it would shit itself. And then I finally fucking realized it was because deep in the fucking template constructor, I used malloc instead of new. God damn it. My fucking C background just bit me in the asshole. Anyway.
Oh my God. But You mean to tell me it was entirely 100%
I know we like
worth
totally
it.
scared off all the fans by now. Like, we don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Fucking bullshit. All right, but anyway.
Gotta read him the title you wrote on the board later.
So, like Tyler said, he
Oh
wanted
my God.
shit to be affected by physics. So,
I did.
bunch of particles. I'm shooting them out of their eyes because I think it looks cool. So, here is the magnet. Shzz. Oh fuck, it's not working. What the fuck? Hold on.
I'm not positioned correctly.
What the fuck?
We'll cut this.
All right.
Round 10. Seriously got it.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Figured out
Alright.
what it was. Oh my God.
Okay, so remember, like, this is like my little bullshit arena. So,
Yeah, with all the swords and everything else laying around.
alright, particles starting now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, particles. Now, notice explosion. Bam!
Oh yes.
They respond to that.
Oh my God.
Now, notice. Where the fuck is the other key?
The sexy.
Implosion.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, all the rigid bodies and all the particles are interacting with.
Oh my God. That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking awesome.
I can.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
But yeah, they're using like a unified physics system now. The ES gamma particle rigid body force integration cohesion, if you will.
Jeez.
Status update.
Yeah, it's
It
recording.
is 9:26 p.m. the next day. No one slept still. Just make a fuck time for that.
So, what I've been working on is a dynamic camera engine. So, for example, there's this chick right here. Talk to her, one click of a button, I'm doing nothing. It dynamically zooms in on the action, like it keeps her fucking in the scene, and it will also zoom with her to make sure that, like, she's
stays
still
in
there.
focus, yeah.
So, okay, once she joins your party, blah, blah, you're an asshole, blah, blah, blah. Once the dialogue's over, it dynamically zooms back out to, like, give you a better view of the scene. So, we're going to apply this. I have a bunch of linear interpolators for like the scale, the translation, and the rotation of the camera. So we're gonna apply this like real time. Shut the fuck up. To the combat engines. So we want it to be kind of like Smash Brothers, where like you're trying to like keep all the shit you have aggroed like on the screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's gonna like. For one, like we'll have really good cinematics. We want it to be able to like show a lot of emotion and shit with like pixel art that
Yeah.
a lot of games really couldn't do. And for another one, it's going to be really cool, like zooming in and out on the action. Like you're casting a spell, it zooms in on you, and like maybe you're in a giant area and there's a whole bunch of like little fuck asses following you around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could
Zooms
also
out
do
on
it for
that.
like you said, like a cinematic approach. Like if you go into like a new area or like, you know, some like big plains or I don't know, some cool cathedral or something. Like I mean, it could just pan and do all kinds of cool stuff.
Alright, you sack of shit, we gotta thank everyone. First of all, I wanted to say thank everyone, like, especially after our last video, we have seriously been, like, blowing up on the internet. We've been getting a lot of press coverage from people who didn't look twice at Elysian Shadows, from people who are like, oh, it's just a stupid-ass, like, game maker-looking RPG.
That was a good
Like,
article.
people who are like, why don't you just fucking write it in Game Maker? Why are you wasting all this time designing your own engine? We were on the Indie Gaming magazine. We were the top Screenshot Saturday indie game of Reddit twice now. We've been
And
getting
by
a lot of
fans,
press, and like really, it's all because of you guys, and like truly, seriously, we really fucking appreciate it. We're a bunch of arrogant sacks of shit, but like we really couldn't do it without you guys.
There's
Like,
a couple fans out there that I guess it's just super fans, man.
Right.
They're out there.
yeah, there are people campaigning for us right now, and if you're one of those people, let us know. Like, we will absolutely like.
You guys are.
We will reward you greatly. We'll
Yeah.
give you something awesome. Like, we truly appreciate it. And
Limited edition.
follow us on Facebook and, like, keep sharing our shit. And, like, truly, you're helping us, like, achieve what has been a dream of ours for, like, my entire goddamn life. And we had a bunch of discussions, like, on our forums and, like, Facebook and stuff. We want to know what everyone wants as Kickstarter rewards. We have some really fucking cool ideas, a lot of input. I mean, first of all, obviously, I'm a huge video game collector. There will absolutely be a lot of really cool shit, like custom game cases, hard copies for everything, original soundtracks,
Like hardcover art book.
hardcover art book, absolutely.
Like collector's edition, maybe like I like the old school like Lunar games that have like the paper map or cloth. map.
Absolutely. And like, especially for us, like, even the programmers, we have like dev notebooks and dev books that like this is like where we do our work, and it's like a concept art book except for us for code. We can totally give you guys stuff like that.
You can go from the beginning of this to the end of it, and you can see the implementation of the state machines to pathfinding, like the actual logical flow of how we implemented it. And
so we absolutely, some other ideas, like we'll absolutely have things like spriting you in our game, having you be like some random NPCs in like some areas, things like that.
Designing an item,
designing a boss,
names. I mean, there's all kinds of like in-game stuff like that.
People had like an idea for like a custom Dreamcast skin.
Custom VMUs.
So absolutely, our stretch goals on Kickstarter, especially with LibGyro, like our stretch goals will absolutely be bringing the Elysian Shadows to like the PS4, to the Xbox One, to the Wii U. Any platform that you can help us get a dev kit for on the Kickstarter with our stretch goals, we will absolutely put ES on it. Yeah, that would be dumb of us not to.
Some Kickstarter goals charge their fans $5,000 or $10,000 to come hang out. Like, and some of it's like,
I know, it is ridiculous. Like $10,000 to come hang out with our ugly asses.
It's always like I guess travel paid, but like staying somewhere is not. Like, what really?
Right. Like we've always tried to like interact with you guys and be open with you guys. Like for us, you've been a part of Adventures in Game Development, dude. For like a couple hundred, you come fucking crash on our couch and like be in Adventures in Game Development for all we give a shit, man. Come hang out with us. That will definitely be a Kickstarter reward.
If the Kickstarter is successful, which I don't say when it is successful, we'll be producing the game.
Stay positive, motherfucker.
So we're still going to be producing the Adventures in Game Development episodes.
That will also be a stretch goal for Adventures in Game Development once a week.
Yeah.
On the dot. Like if we get like a certain amount, we will commit to we will be producing videos like out the ass. Yeah. Other ideas, this is something that we plan to do for a while. Like obviously we have created an entire development suite to develop ES with. Like obviously the same tools we're using to create ES, first of all, you could use to expand our world of ES, and you could also use to create your own game. So one of our stretch goals will be to open Elysian Shadows to a gigantic modding community, to give you all of the tools we use, like full Lua API, full ESTK, invocable engine on all these platforms, and make ES like a growing world where you guys can also create your own levels and shit like that with our tools.
There is no game engine out there. I mean, Game Maker is nothing compared to this. Like, I mean, there is. It's incredible. That was terrible.
Also, another idea that we were probably going to do is we've been putting all this effort into our multi-platform framework, LibGyro. So we're going to make that open source, and you guys will also be able to move your own engines across any platform you want that ES supports just by linking to our framework. And you can also help us put ES onto other platforms by re-implementing the framework. So for example, if yeah, exactly. So it's like, no, it's capitalism. So like, you help us, we help you. You put like the framework on fucking Virtual Boy, then like we'll get you running on Dreamcast and like Droid and stuff like that, and you get us running on Virtual Boy. I mean, that was the point of the framework. So that's definitely another one. And we also have a couple like really, really big, like, you have like those stretch goals where like, if for some miracle we make like $1 bajillion, that you'll probably never hit, but like it's a good one. We don't want to tell you guys yet, but we have like some really good ideas.